I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. And you would, of course, be able to alter your time sense and slip, say, 75 years of subjective time into 8 hours of sleep. You would, I suppose, start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You could design for yourself what would be the most ecstatic life. Love affairs, banquets, dancing girls, wonderful journeys, love affairs, banquets, dancing girls, wonderful journeys, gardens, music beyond belief. Music beyond belief. Music beyond belief. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. And then after a couple of months of this sort of thing at 75 years a night, you would be getting a little taste for something different. You would move over to an adventurous dimension where there were certain dangers involved and the thrill of dealing with dangers. And you could rescue princesses from dragons and go on dangerous journeys, make wonderful explosions and blow them up. Eventually get into contests with enemies. And after you've done that for some time, you'd think up a new wrinkle to forget that you were dreaming, so that you would think it was all for real, and to be anxious about it, because it'd be so great when you woke up. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. And then you'd say, well,
Welcome, dreamers. Welcome from Hong Kong. Welcome from the US. Welcome from across the world. That, if you don't know who that is, please, where have you been the whole time? We're not allowed to be friends if you don't know who that is. That is one of the greatest minds to ever live in all of history. One of the greatest philosophizers, one of the funniest truth tellers that has ever existed. And when he was done telling the truth, he called in a bunch of monks to conduct a conscious death practice and just exited. Chose the day, chose the moment, and just went, I've done my tour of duty. Good day. I'm going to go back to being source again. What a fucking legend. He lived like a legend. He died like a legend. Left a legacy upon the world that will outlive humanity. Other than that, he was all right. You know, Alan fucking Watts. So let's see if I get a copyright infringement for that. Otherwise, this Akira artist is going to be the one we're going to be listening to no matter what. I don't care about copyright infringements. It's not like I monetize my videos anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, the markets have opened. That's the whole point of us getting together right now. First, before we dive into bottom catching and knowing all that stuff, let's just see what the markets did. Ha! I wonder what the markets did. Because they did the thing that everybody didn't expect to. This is what they did. Oh, wow. Look. They're following perfectly along with the exact same thing that happened before. We didn't have some biblical crash I was telling you, I was like, this line, there's going to be some big move, or I mean, I would be surprised if there's a big move. That means this is just so aligned. But there you go. There's your big move. Now we're back. SpaceX launches right around here. Okay. And everything's playing along. So this we're just going to keep an eye on, because the VIX had popped. Where did I put that thing last night, that other night? And the VIX is dropping. Okay, so this is the VIX had that pop that we like literally made popcorn for. Not literally. We figuratively made popcorn for. And the VIX is returning, right? It was a scare tactic. Trying to see if that does anything in Bitcoin. And of course, this time around, the VIX pop made Bitcoin go up. As we expected, there's a bounce. Look at that. It's apparently not that complicated to be able to see where the markets are going. If you simply stay awake for 40 hours for the last 21 years, it's pretty easy, simple. You know, people ask me like, how, Sim, how'd you do it? I'm like, oh, really easy. Just go back to being 15 and spend the next 21 years on it. You'll make it. No problem. Easy peasy squeezy. So, yeah, that's all. Can't say I didn't tell you, right? But check this out. I've been marking off like previous bear markets into the stages, those 4 stages, and then projecting forward according to timelines and everything, where we think these stages go and bottom out and then return and then go further, all that kind of stuff. Could, right? Who knows if we go all the way down here? That's so unexpected that I would imagine it would happen at some point. Paulie G, welcome. Angela, welcome. So this is what we're looking at. This is a total market cap. And here we've had the first stage, 1010 crash. Second stage, the 91K crash. We are now in the middle of the next stage. They do tend to play out like this, where it falls, gets even more vertical, less vertical, and less vertical. That's also the slowing down of the crashing process. So this is, if I had to just, put lines here, this is what it is, and goes all the way out until end of 2027, somewhere close to there. I extended this out a little bit just to give us a little bit more time, or, think out further than we expect it to be, because now it's obvious that things are taking longer than we all expect them to. And that is also the same time where all that stuff on the S&P, it's like, you got to go to the bathroom? No, I got an S&P. S&P takes us all the way out here until like that January timeline, chopping around if this plays out like this, which means you get the idea. There's confluence between those two, or at least I've made confluence between those two. But let's see how long it takes for me to be wrong, which I am wrong a lot in life. Sometimes I'm wrong in markets as well. So expect that at some point. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not some kind of infallible cunt. So that is the market. We're just waiting it out. It's back to like 63K now. There were $25 billion of shorts that somebody bought. Like, those are expensive shorts, man. Like, I buy pants mainly. I'm just kidding. I have shorts, but they're not that expensive, right? But $25 billion of shorts somebody bought, and people had bought. So that needs to be flushed out. When there's $1 billion of short longs, which means people want it to go up, and $25 billion of shorts, which means people want it to go down, then it's likely that it goes up because people want it to go down. So somebody's got to go take all their money, right? That process is happening live as we speak. So could we go all the way back up to 66? No problem. Could we go all the way back up to 70? Not out of the question. Could we go all the way back up to 82? Very low likelihood. So let's see. That's playing out. I'm sitting here watching 55. Once we break 55, sleepless nights start again in some capacity, which I love, right? But that is not the promise that I had made you for this video. You were told that we're going to figure out how to see the bottom, know the bottom, be the bottom, and go the bottom. The last one didn't rhyme well enough. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. We got to figure out where the bottom is. Like, I know where my bottom is. I mean, there's times when I don't even know where my own bottom is, let alone the market bottom. Okay, so this isn't some like guaranteed thing, blah, blah, blah. You know all that, right? This is just a perspective. Just more perspectives for us to take, which allow us to be able to see the kind of different details that are going on. But let's just quickly look at the thing that shows that the money is being taken from the people who shorted the markets. And that is what I call the predator leverage indicator or metric, but it's actually just future estimated leverage ratio, right? But I look at it, I think of it as like, this is the predator that eats the money from the spot markets. So when this is high, there's a lot of leverage. Last we had checked, we were over here, right? There was high leverage, and I was saying it hasn't flushed out. Well, that flush is happening as we speak. Is this a flush? No, this is a flush, right? That's a toilet that's been emptied. This is a toilet that, like, that first moment where you press the button a little bit and a little bit of water flows in and the toilet starts to flush and the poop starts going out in circles, right? That is basically what's happening now. Leverage is beginning to be flushed. Hello from UK. Hello from Bali. Hello from Earth. Hello from this plane of existence. Hello from the third planet from the sun. Yeah? Also known as Sol 3 to the aliens, because they just take the name of the sun and put the number behind it, because they got too many planets to remember. Yes, they called me. When this flushes out and we get down to these levels, then we know, okay, the process is completed in some capacity, right? Let's see how it plays out. Right now, it's flushing out. Bitcoin's going up. It's just going to go up forever. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. Run and buy it now, because you will never, 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 never be able to catch it when it runs, right? That's a joke. Relax. Okay? It will go down lower. Should go down lower. Always does. There's always 1,000 reasons why it won't, and no reason that it should. And then it does. Just like there was absolutely no reason for it to go from 0.8 of a penny or 0.2 of a penny to $120,000, but it did. Sure, yeah, the world's collapsing and we need it exactly, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about all that? No, it's a really good use case. That's a joke, guys. Relax. Okay, so let's think about the bottom. Let's just quickly check the markets first, just to make sure the open's going well enough. Yeah, looks like it's, nothing much going on there. Had a bit of a drop. Now the market opened up here. Seems like it's pushing down. We'll give it time. This is going to take a minute to play out. I wouldn't be surprised if the market actually just bounces around and stays in that zone. But let's see. So let's think about the bottom. Like, well, first of all, when I'm saying the bottom, I mean the bottom area. This isn't how do you catch the tippity bottom of the katana. The katana framework is the katana framework. Hopefully by now you've seen some parts of how I think about it and how I see it. But this is the way that we can look at the bottoming process, let's say. Because we already have metrics that are our topping metrics. I'm adding more to it, but like we have topping metrics, the ones I showed you earlier. I was looking for bottoming metrics, so we can have confluence on both sides. That way we can see when the bottom is starting and when the bottom is ending and when the bull run is starting, and then on the top we can see when the top is starting, so on and so forth. And we play that range in the middle. If we can just capitalize on the middle, we laugh to the digital bank, to the neo bank, right? Which also, by the way, I got word that, I'm not going to say who, but somebody, just for privacy reasons, we were just helping one of you guys here with helping move money from UK. Here's a little trick. Capital controls are being put in place, so it's getting harder and harder to move money out of the UK. Because it's also easy to leave the UK, there's no exit tax yet. It used to be that you could just go to Revolut and move the money directly to Kraken. They're blocking that rail now. So one rail that we found that still works, but with some finesse, is First of all, having an older Revolut account, you can't do this with a brand new account, or you shouldn't. You should give it some time. With an older Revolut account, taking money from your own bank account, transferring $100 into Revolut, waiting a little bit, maybe a few hours, maybe a day or something, let it sit there. Then take that $100 and do not move it to Kraken. Do not move it to your exchange. Move it to a private wallet, which is allowed. Because you can take crypto out of Revolut and put it in your wallet. Leave it there. Don't move it. Take another small amount. Do the same process, move it to the wallet. Then take a slightly larger amount. Do the same process, move it to the wallet. Basically trickle the money into your wallet. And, you know, depending on what trickling means for you, some of you degens, trickling is like a house at a time. You be logical with it. Once all the money is moved into the wallet, then you can take it from there and put it into your exchange. Otherwise, their systems pick up that this is capital flight, and they don't want you to do that. It's not illegal, but it's these days things that you're allowed to do you're not allowed to do anymore, especially in the not so great Britain, what I call meh Britain. Used to be Great Britain, and then it was like then it was Britain, then it's now it's meh Britain, right? So there you go. So this bottoming process. First of all, think about the bottoming process like this. When the least number of people pay attention is a good sign that it's a bottoming process. I'm watching this happen in our community, right? First of all, people start to drop off and just leave because they just get so disillusioned with crypto that they don't even want to look at it. They don't want to have to face their own decisions, and they just leave, which is great. Like, I like less people, right? People start engaging less people reading messages, less people participating, less people commenting. That's great. I love it. One, it's less for me to deal with. All right. Takes a lot to deal with thousands of people's shit. Like, I'm not even going to go beyond that. It takes a lot. Less people interacting is a huge signal for me, because it gets to a point where it turns into like tumbleweeds. The place is just tumbleweeds. That's when I go, yeah, now's the moment. Now nobody's watching it. You say the word meme coin to somebody now. Say SPX, useless, fart coin, poop coin, butt coin, tit coin. Like, what was the AI? Goat. You want to buy a goat now? No. It's free. Okay. That means I'm going to go buy other things, right? Back when people were screaming about those things, I used to yell at you guys, those of you that are from Real Vision, I used to yell at you guys in those channels about, like, right before, hey, you guys are going to get wrecked, and then nobody listened, and now it's at the bottom buying time, and now nobody listens. But the fact that nobody listens, fact that there's such little interaction, fact that giant YouTube channels get like single-digit thousands of views, multi-million user accounts get single thousands of views, tells you a lot. Less engagement, that's the place to be. More engagement, that's the time to let them engage with it, right? And sell it to them. So that's one big thing. Another bottoming kind of signal are all these things that we're going to go through. So we already looked at a few of them, but there's different models that exist for NFTs is a good trigger. Yeah. How's your monkey doing? Invest all of your money into art. Art is where all the money is going. He's right, though. He is right. He's not wrong about that. It's just a very long play, right? Yes, the monkeys will do well. Yes, his art will do well. Art is logically a good bet, but art is a good bet for the people who have a decade to wait. I have decades left in my life. I have 20 decades left still. When I'm 200, I'll finish my mission. But I don't want to wait a decade. I also got a World War III to go through today. I got people to save. I got families landing from the Matrix. Right? And it's like somebody's got to do this shit today. So, yes, monkeys, NFTs, if anger ensues, yeah. If you're holding photos of things as investment vehicles, like what did you expect? JPEGs to like be valuable tomorrow? No. When there's a trillion AIs in the economy, those AIs will go and buy the shittiest NFTs as collectibles. I tell you that. I used to collect Pokemon cards back in the day. When I was like a wee little lad, 9-year-old, I used to have Pokemon cards. I did not realize where that was going. My Charizards would be $100,000 today. Per Charizard. I had the holographic, special edition, limited, blah, 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 never traded it. The Blastoises and all that stuff. Like, oh my God, it's ridiculous how much they're selling for. Because collectors collect. But NFTs are not for humans to collect. They're for AIs to collect, because it's one of the few things that they'll be able to do within the digital space it's like art collecting in the real world. But they will collect even the shittiest NFTs. So all these NFTs that are $0 are going to be worth a lot one day, 20 years down the road. Who knows when, right? By 20 years down the road, it should be very, very valuable. A smart guy made this business, and if you want a good business, you can make this. This is a really, really smart long-term play. A smart guy was like, look, if you sell your NFTs at a loss verifiably, you can write it off. If you just hold on to them, you can't write them off. He made a website where you can just go and dump your NFTs and write them off as a loss, because he gives you a receipt. That guy is hoovering up all these worthless NFTs that the AIs are going to come along and make worthwhile with their AI, economy, money, and all that kind of stuff. So that is going to happen down the road. But it ain't happening today. It ain't happening tomorrow. It ain't happening for a while. Okay. By then, we'll have actual monkeys. Okay. I mean, in Bali, we already have actual monkeys. We have land with like thousands of monkeys, hundreds of monkeys, right? Where it was funny. The monkeys love mangosteen. It's like this really delicious fruit. Booty bought the land, realized the monkeys love mangosteen. Instead of dealing with the monkeys, he planted 450 mangosteen trees. And he's like, brother, monkeys like mangosteen. So I give so much mangosteen that maybe we have some. I was like, bro, we have mangosteen trees. He's like, yeah, but monkey like mangosteen, bro. It's for the monkey. Okay, so there's the psychological bottoming process, right? There's I guess I'll open that up to show you as well. There's the engagement bottoming process. There's the fear and the kind of pain bottoming process. So let's look at the first one, okay? This is just my dashboard. First perspective to take is when the flows from the ETFs bottom out, that should be a bottoming process. This is a new dynamic, so it hasn't existed for a long time. I mean, it literally has not existed for a long period of time. It just started back here in January 2024. But we will see the bleeding out from the ETFs start to bottom out, right? By the way we do that is if more bottoms out on this next katana and less flows out on the next katana, then we know, hey, the ETF flows are starting to diminish in their, in leaving. I don't know how to say that. In the external volume, whatever you want to call it, in leaving. Less money is leaving ETFs per katana. That means that's a bottoming process, right? But we won't be able to see that until we have that second katana. So it's better to do a kind of a predictive analysis rather than a reflective analysis. Another, you can't even see it. Guys, if you can't see it, tell me you can't see it. Right? Come on, speak up. Speak your mind, yeah. This is ETF outflows. Obviously, I don't have to tell you which one is flowing out and which one's flowing in. But when we see the divergence in the flows, let's say, we will see when there's a bottoming out process. That's going to take until the final katana to start to paint a picture. But it is a picture, and it's also one of the dominant forces in this whole process that's going on. It's one of the dominant forces that dumps the markets with leverage. Leverage does it, and ETFs do it. Us, like retail people, people have already been beaten up enough. There's a little bit of retail left to dump, but not very much. But the fear and greed bottoming out process is a great indicator, because like back here, right? We had the katana that we're going through right now, the leg we're going through right now. Let's name them. Okay, stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, stage 1 was the first collapse, crash. Stage 2 was the next crash. Stage 3 is what we're going through right now, and stage 4 is what ends. Ben Cohen puts 3 stages in. I like 4 stages, because for me, I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's works with me. So right now we're in stage 3. Then there's going to be stage 4. Okay, so last time in stage 3, where we are right now, fear and greed bottomed out super, super hard, because that was the Luna collapse. Then it was boring zone for some time, and then the final bottom happened on the FTX crash. But the fear and greed clearly made a uptrend, well drawn, right? Fear and greed is going up, but price is going down. So that was that divergence in fear and greed that's telling us, okay, there's less fear now, but the prices are lower. That usually tells us that there's a turning around process. This staging process is also a good way to look at the bottoms, right? Are we at the bottom now? No. If the staging theory is true, then this 4th stage is when we reach the bottom. But let's see. Let's see if it's true. But the fear and greed is a clear signal, right? That's why I was even saying, like, right now, we're seeing this uptrend in fear and greed. If that was to continue like this, then that would say, well, something's different. Maybe we just bounced, maybe this was some kind of something. But we're not done with this process yet, so this will probably end up being lower by the time this leg is complete. Let's see. Let's see how that process plays out. But that's fear and greed being used to find a bottom, or a bottom zone. It does happen in proper fear, extreme fear, right? So when people back here, they're like, yeah, but fear and greed hit 5. Buy now, because it never goes lower. And I'm like, yeah, but it can go to 2, it can go to 1, go to 0, right? So let's see what plays out there. That's one perspective. One and done perspective. Does that make sense? Okay. Spot ETFs, we already looked at. The MVRV Z-score, market value, realized value Z-scored, which is this line, with a 7-day moving average on it to clean it up. That is another good bottoming signal, because crypto tends to go back to this green zone on this Z-score, right? When we're down in this green zone, that's when the bottom happens. When we're last time stage 3, we hit that green zone and stayed there until the other side. We haven't hit that yet. We're really close. That means Bitcoin is well priced. I would not be angry at you. I mean, I'll never be angry at you, but I would not be mad at you if you ended up buying now and held it until some later time. It is closer to the bottom than it is to the top, but it's not there yet. When it hits that green zone, that's like as good of a discount as you're going to get, right? It might go a little bit lower. Sure, it's like last time it went all the way down to 22, and then in the bottom it went to 17, and then there were people waiting for 10K the whole time, and it never happened, right? So when we hit this green zone, just take it. That's why I'm like, let's catch this katana, because who fucking knows? If everything is different this run, who knows what's going to happen? Let's nail this one. Let's do our best to exit according to the strategy. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we got a 22,000 entry, and it goes all the way to 17, and we sit on some losses, and then I really get to see your emotional resilience to see, like, are you even capable of being here, or are you somebody I need to fire? And we catch it here, and we exit somewhere along the way, and then we catch the next one. If for some reason these 4 stages don't happen, then at least we got a good entry, and we are in the market, right? Imagine you got in at 22 and it went to 120K Bitcoin. You're not going to be crying about that, right? So that's what we're saying. But it hasn't hit that yet. When it does, You will be there to watch it and see it. I've now made I'm combining all this together. I'm just going to keep updating all this stuff so we can follow it along and see what happens live. Two things are saying that we're closer to the bottom than the top. We started from the top, now we're here. We started from the top, now we're here. And I don't even have any money to buy a beer. I gotta make that song. That was a banger right there. Ewan, Ewan, if you're listening to this, that's the next banger we're making, bro. Get the music ready. Okay, we have an amazing music producer who's also part of Excellency. Another bottoming signal. God, I really amuse myself. Let me light my crack pipe. I'm smoking like recovered cigarettes because I'm slowing down on my smoking right now. And when the katana's done, I'm just going to stop smoking again. Like anybody who's smoking and they're like, I can't quit. No, you're a bitch. Just stop. Well, you want to smoke? Then don't. You know, these hands are attached to you, right? They're your hands. Just don't buy it, right? Wait a week and then you'll be fine. Like, I smoke when I want to and I don't smoke when I don't want to, right? Bottoming process. Enough with the lectures there, fucking lecturing grandpa. Smoke whatever I want. I hear you. Do whatever you want. Fucking, I'm not judging you, bro. Indonesia is one of the highest smoking countries in the world. And they have the lowest levels of COVID. Lowest COVID deaths. Like, nicotine gets rid of all that stuff. Not all that stuff. Graphene, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, let's focus on the bottoms, guys. Quit distracting me. The Nupal chart is one of our favorite bottom pickers, right? Because the Nupal chart, remember we said, me, myself, and I said that we have this is averaged out, so it doesn't show as much, but it's like there's the euphoria crash. Let's say this is the euphoria crash. This is the belief crash. This is the anxiety crash. This is the fear crash. And this is the capitulation crash. So we are going through the fear crash, which is the second to last crash, which is the beginning of the bottom. The fear crash, or the capitulation crash, this red crash, emotional red crash, is the final bottoming process, right? This time, the fear should already take us down close to capitulation, if not into capitulation. Usually it takes us into capitulation. Like it did back here, like it did back here. Actually, this one was, this 2018 bull run I don't use as an example, because 2018 was too perfect of a run up, and too, like, it was almost like a computer painted it, right? So I go with this more natural perspective here. But still, even back there, we had the fear crash, and then there was a capitulation crash, but the fear and the capitulation kind of got tied together, and then there was a second little dip there that looks tiny now, but at the time, people were thinking it's just going to go to zero forever. But this time around, we are now in the fear crash that starts to form the bottom, and the capitulation crash finishes the bottom. Psychologically speaking. The predator leverage flushes out. It's not to say that this tells you when the bottom is, but this definitely tells you when there's no more money to take, right? Because in the crash, the actual holders of Bitcoin sell. In the flushing of the leverage, the degens, the risk takers, the leveraged people sell. That's the idea, right? So when this would be confluence on top of those other indicators to see where the bottom is. Now we're getting the nitty gritty of this thing, the nitty gritty details. So this is long-term on-chain cost basis, long-term, short-term on-chain cost basis, right? Don't worry about it too much. Let's just look at the lines. When the lines cross below and this purple shows up, that's the bottom, according to this model. Now imagine Fear and greed makes that uptrend that we looked at. Spot ETFs bleed out less and less. NBRV goes in the green. Nupal goes to the capitulation. Leverage flushes out. And then we have a purple on this. That is the bottom. And it's so good at calling the bottom, right? Because this is basically, I think this is long-term. Yeah, it's on-chain acquisition price for long-term holders goes below the short-term holders effectively. Or is it, sorry, the short-term holders basis goes below the long-term holders, right? The red line goes below the blue line effectively. Both of the lines go below the blue line, right? That's also the realized price. The orange line is the realized price. So when those things go below the long-term big cost basis, that tells you it's a bottom. Perfect there, perfect there, perfect there. It's even more accurate than just, you know, it barely registered during the stage 3, and stage 4 is where it called it. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No. For the 10th time. We're not there yet. Should I buy now? Ma, should I buy now? No, we're not there yet. I'll let you know when we're there. Go back to the back seat, please. Let me drive. Okay? But when this turns purple, like that's when we're really jumping for joy. So I wouldn't be surprised if this turns purple. So let's just look at this, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if this turns purple soon. In this next flush, we should meet the kind of drop that's necessary. So by the time we get in the later part of the year, we're going to have a nice purple over there, right? And look, it's not even waiting until it goes down. It's literally starting from here. So I don't know how they calculate it, but it's accurate, right? There you go. This thing turns purple, leverage flushes out, all that stuff happens. Now we got so many pieces saying there's the bottom, okay? And apparently, you can't know when it's the bottom. You can't know when it's the top. Nobody in the world can know when it's the bottom. We gotta stop listening to grandpas. In their world, you could never know when it was the bottom. Because they didn't have freaking artificial intelligences that could just analyze lines on a chart and trade better than 1,000 people, right? But it's possible. Anything they tell you is impossible, there's a reason why they're telling you it's impossible. Maybe it's impossible for them, right? Percent of, no, this is the wrong one. This is the wrong one. This is supposed to be not addresses in profit. This percent addresses, was it addresses? No. This is supposed to be something else. It got fucked up. That's not the best of indicators. Okay, we skipped that. I'll show you guys next time. Nupal levels showed a different way. Percent of market cap Nupal is another bottoming signal. When we see this, that first it flushes, and then the next flush is not as low as the first flush. That's divergence, right? Remember, divergence is one thing's going one way and the other thing's going the other way. This goes like this, and the price is going like this. That tells us that's a bottom, right? This level of flush is necessary to create a bottom. This that's happening right here is what's happening right here. That's the beginning, right? That was phase 2. This was phase 1. This was phase 2. This was, no, I fucked that up, sorry. This was phase 1. This was phase 2. This was phase 3. Okay, so that was basically phase 1. We had that level reached. Here, it had to wait until phase 2 to have that level reached. So when we see this process play out, we see this massive amount of market cap size. And that's why I think this crash that's coming up is going to be the biggest one. It's going to be the scariest one that actually drops the markets the hardest. Most, at least that's what history says. Most of the flush happens there, and then by the time the next flush comes, we can already, even though the price goes lower, we can already see that there's a bottom forming. So let's see how that plays out. Jennifer, welcome. Here's a great top picking perspective and a bottom picking perspective. So this one, like when it's orange, it's the top, and when it's blue, it's the bottom. Now, is it perfect? No. Like there's times when, even in after phase 2, it was saying we're getting close to the bottom. So this one needs to be combined with the other ones to give us a sharper resolution. But I like this one because it starts to give you the topping-y feeling and the bottoming-y feeling ranges, right? Now over here, it completely messed up. But over here, it called the top right when I exited. The March 2024 timeline, when I exited, that was one of the first times where Real Vision watched me do it live. That was already telling you, hey, there's something topping-y going on. Here, that's a false signal. So out of all these things, it's called bottoms pretty accurately almost all the time. It's called topping processes pretty accurately all the time. Even this like local top. So this is another piece we add on top. This is actually a combination of a bunch of indicators. So that, again, gives more confluence, right? This has MBRB in there, which is part of the Z-score. This is profits. This is minor profitability. And then reserve risk, which is just the risk of holding it, basically, combined together. Amazing. Now imagine this is blue. This is crazy red, like when the katana happens. This turns purple. This flushes out. This turns red. This goes into the green. Are you confused yet? This has a massive red candles first, and then the next set of candles are smaller. This goes insanely red first. The fear and greed goes insanely red first. That's the beginning, and then when there's a higher top, that's when you know it is a bottom. And this we already looked at last time, which was like basically we go below this 39K. That is the realized balance price. Here, if you look at the past, whenever we go down and tap that zone, that is the bottom. Even going in the past, when we go down and tap that zone, even in COVID, when we tap that zone, that is the bottom. Right? Beginning of the bottom, finishing off of the bottom. Can we make it any easier? Right? This is percent supply and profit. Now, this is something that... there we go. Okay. This is something that it's so beautiful that it goes down to about 40%, 40 to 50%, let's say, every time. Because 40 to 50% of Bitcoin holders just will not sell. Right? Even though they have profits, they won't sell. They're the OGs, right? They've been holding for a long time. So it goes down, less and less supply goes into profit, and eventually you just can't go down anymore. So that's when you start to see, okay, the percentage of the supply that's in profit has bottomed out to the point where nobody's gonna sell. Like they can make it whatever price they want, nobody's gonna sell. When there's nobody left to sell, that's when a bottom happens, right? Because there's nobody left to sell. There's no leveraged players who are selling. There's no freaking out, short-term holders. They lost all their money. All the long-term holders, these like really long-term holders, they're just holding on. They don't care. They've been there for, they've been through enough of the bear markets. This last time, it bottomed out at like 47%. Before that, it was at 69%. What the fuck? This is 47% and this is 69%. This is... Oh, okay. That's 44%. It's like, how's that going on? This is 40%. This is 40%. Right? So they around that zone. Now, where are we at now? We are at... Let's zoomity zoom, zoom, boom, boom. We are at 47%. So going down to that 40-ish percent. Could even go lower than that. This time around, they're really going to wipe out a lot of people. But again, are we in that bottoming zone already? Yeah, according to this thing. We're getting there. A little bit lower, and we get down to levels where the first katana should paint a bottom, and then below that, around this, like, let's say, 40%, 35%, somewhere around there, the bottom starts to form. So, stages I'm not going to go through it all. You remember it all, right? You have a brainy brain, and you have thoughty thoughts, and you don't have memory loss. Well, some of you don't have memory loss. Ay, ay, ay. Stock market still hanging out. Same spot that it was in the whole time. Hanging out in no man's land. Just tracking along, bouncing along, doing what it's doing. Tech stocks, similar thing. Went down, seeing a bounce. Hey, let's do the same thing here, huh? Why not? Like Woody says, why not? Let's go back to 2000s, okay? What the hell? The Qs didn't exist back then? I guess that makes sense. NASDAQ. Get your NASDAQs here. Get your NASDAQs. Okay. Let's go back. And where was it? Do I have... Oh, right here. Bar patterns. So what you do is like you take the bar pattern tool and you draw it all the way back to here. Let's even... I want to see if there's more confluence back all the way back to here. Let's draw all of that. Then we take this. I just copy it. Okay. Paste. Great. Oh, right there. You put it on log. Okay. And then you try to squeeze this and make it work. Because that's the entire game, really. It's just figure out a way to make the data squeeze together and make it look like exactly what you want so you can tell yourself whatever story you want. That's the game. Look at that. I'm so smart. Wow. Like we say, wow. Okay. And I could just keep squeezing that for some time. Okay. Squeezy squeeze. It's so difficult to like line it up perfectly, but well, I'm not too mad at that. Right? You're not going to find like a as perfect of a correlation as the S&P, but I'm not too mad at that. If I had to just make up a perspective, I think that's probably what's playing out with like a little bit of divergence, but how much more fortune telly can you get? We had the Trump crash lined up. We got the pump lined up. They had a little bit of chop early. We had a little bit of chop late. You know, it ran away a little bit early. They pulled back and ran a little bit late, but that's totally normal. But this way of lining up also lines up with the stock market. And by June 16th, this says that there's a double top. By the time SpaceX launches right here, that's a double top. Wow. Wow. I didn't know I could just go back and just pull up data and it just tells me exactly what's going to happen. Okay, well, let's see. Does this say, oh, look at that. Takes us out to the end of the year. And tumble-a-bumble. Tumble-a-bumble, it's happening. Let's see if this plays out. Saving this. It's already saved. Semis. Not like the trucks. The semiconductors. They've topped out. Semis didn't exist back then. Did it? No. From what I know, it didn't. Yeah. It was started right after that. Semis didn't exist back then, so we can't project forward. But NASDAQ and S&P showing us what they're showing us for, forward looking, that's enough. That's enough for us to be able to see what's going on. Plus, all these bottom indicators are telling us. So, stock market is topping out. Bitcoin's bottoming out. What do you think? What's going to happen to which? If something's topping out and something's bottoming out, and the old system's topping out and the new system's bottoming out, and the money's going from the old system to the new system, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, right? It doesn't take Elon to figure this one out. Also, Elon wasn't even a rocket scientist. He's just a genius who walked in and beat all the rocket scientists. That's why when they say it's not rocket science. Bro, rocket science isn't that hard. Like, especially nowadays. They literally gave an AI in Dubai, somewhere, Dubai-ish. They gave an AI a jet engine model. Not even a model. They said, design a jet engine the way you want to design a jet engine. Design the best jet engine that you can ever design. And it designed the most natural looking jet engine you will ever see. I think it's in Dubai. Yeah. It made the most like natural looking jet engine on Earth. Okay, yeah, this is it. I'm not gonna show it to you, obviously. Like and subscribe. You gotta like and subscribe. Then I'll show you. If you like it and you subscribe it, then I'll show you. Pay me. Then I'll show you. This is the engine it made by itself. Like, no humans were involved. It designed it, tested it, refined it, improved it, tested it. First build works perfectly. Okay, it designed this jet engine, which has these like tubules inside where the stuff happens. I don't know how I got to this jet engine. I have no idea. Now you know how my brain works. I love jet engines. I'm a plane enthusiast, by the way. We're gonna get a plane, 100%. Probably like a dual prop or whatever. I don't know. We're gonna get a plane, and it's gonna fly in the air. We're gonna get one that flies in the air. Can you believe that? So, Ethereum bouncing, doing its thing, chopping around. Wouldn't be surprised if it smashes through this. Goes pretty decently through this 13 something range in this next katana, and then goes a little bit lower in the next one. I don't expect it to go below 1,000 like for a long time. I don't expect it to be below 1,000 for a long time, but right now we're bouncing around in that same zone. XRP broke below, and it's making a move upwards. Right, the indicator that we had been looking at, the momentum indicator, is now clearly a very useful indicator. Right now, it told us things would turn around. The hybrid indicator also told us things would turn around. Remember, we looked at the 4-hour divergence, which was like right here. Right, things were going up, price was going down. Let's just draw it out, because there you go. Say this was going down, price indicator was going up, but it was even more pronounced on Bitcoin on the 4-hour. This was going up, this was going down. So I'm like, good night, sweet dreams. And now we've been sleeping the whole time, and it's been really, really nice. Quite excellent. Got about 37 hours of sleep in a day. Now, I have 37 hours. That's why I'm so effective and efficient. Of course. That's the only way you succeed. Yeah, that's the idea. You've seen like a bunch of different things. I'm not going to go into too much of the other stuff. There's not much else we can see to be able to tell the bottom. So now, any questions? Any answers? Or do we just listen to Alan Watts again and we finish off? Look at that. It's 22:22. The moment I check the time, every day, all the time, when I check the time, it's divine numbers. Not all the time, but like so many times for no reason. I'll be riding my bike for like 2 hours straight. I have no reason to check the time. I'm riding, and then just looking around, and it just goes, I just blink down, and it's like 1:11. And it's 3:33. Right? It's divine numbers. Just go, hey, you are tuned in. You're vibrating the frequency. Continue to enjoy your ride. All is perfect. You're right where you need to be, when you need to be, down to the second. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Come on, guys. Give me some questions. Otherwise, I will smoke a cigarette. I will kill myself. If I kill myself, just remember, it was me. Nobody goes and says, hey, if I kill myself, I'm suicidal. Right? Here we go. If I kill myself, what do you mean? What's the elites? Right? But then again, the people who need to say that are usually the ones who are the ones, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Okay, I have no intention of leaving this plane of existence. Yes, I know it's a game. Yes, I know that, but I have no intention of leaving this existence until each and every one of you motherfuckers are so rich you don't know what the fuck to do with it. That you have to go do inner work to try to figure out what your life even means after having that much money. Okay, that is what I'm trying to do here. That's what I'm here to do, and I shall achieve it. Amazing. No questions. I love this. We're going fast. How long has this been going on for? Is there a timer here somewhere? I have no... 56 minutes? Cool. We're at like an hour, basically. All right, lovelies. There you go. Review. When all of this looks red, everything looks red. And of course, when it comes to Nupal, we can look at the Nupal of the long-term Bitcoin Nupal, the short-term Bitcoin Nupal, net unrealized profit and loss, right? Solana Nupal. We can go and look at all these things. SOPR, so the realized HODL waves that I showed you guys last time. All of these together paint such a beautiful picture that it can't not be the bottom around there, right? And we'll look at all that stuff. But right now, fear and greed is there, but it's not low enough. It's going to take a little bit of a break and a breath. MBRB, pause this video if you can. You can't. MicroStrategy, yeah, let's see what Mr. is doing. Everybody calls it Master. I just call it Mr. Like, it's just a Mr. Some Mr. over there. Hey guys, everybody should buy this. We'll just refinance it. Oh, Michael. You never learn. Okay? And the concern isn't just MicroStrategy, right? Like, MicroStrategy, as a company, I would expect goes into bankruptcy and then they just take it from them, right? It's not like it disappears. It's not like it just goes away like Luna and FTX and just takes everybody's money. It's just probably a process of just shifting the coins, the hands, right? Momentary bankruptcy, and then that coins go to the new people. And yes, the people who invest in it lose all their money, but the Bitcoin just gets transferred to the other guys. If that happens, maybe that doesn't happen. But the other companies, like there's hundreds of other companies that are holding Bitcoin, holding Ethereum. What's that guy? The Asian guy? Tom Lee. I think is $10 billion down last I checked on his ETH trades. He's going to probably end up being $20 billion down. If he just held it, which he's not gonna, he's gonna dump it. Everybody dumps it. One of the original Ethereum guys just dumped all of his Ethereum, right? There's something going on at Ethereum. Watch the Coin Bureau stuff, but it's still gonna be fine. It's all just, they tell us bullshit in the background. It's all being built. Strategy sitting on a ton of losses. I don't know how many billion, 15, 20 billion, no, 15 billion, 10 billion, 12 billion, somewhere around there. What's a few billion between friends, right? That's Ben's joke. I just copied it. By the way, if you're fucking telling jokes and you copy it from a comedian, you have to tell people that you copy jokes. You can't take a comedian's joke, okay? Like, I'm an artist. Let's fucking go to this. I'm an artist, okay? I look analytical to you. I'm just an analytical artist. I'm an analytical artist, right? I appreciate art. I do stand-up comedy. Yes, I've done stand-up comedy. I was trying to find the set. I couldn't find it. I'll do another one, okay? I have sets written already. I write songs. I'm an artist, is all I'm trying to say. And with art, you can't copy somebody's art. Like, it's fucking art. You're a piece of shit if you copy somebody's art and tell people it's your art. Fuck you. Okay? If the comedy is art, and if you copy a joke, make sure you quote the person you copied it from. If it's a joke, if you're trying to make it look like your joke, just not your fucking joke, okay? Just saying, relax. You can just feel strongly about it, right? What were we talking about? Relax, Sim. It's okay. It's just a joke. No, it's not funny. This is what I do all the day. I just tell myself jokes. The funniest. I love it. I love you, Sim. I love you too, Sim. Thank you. We should get married. Don't be gay. Quick Q, please. I love how the quick Q is the longest question. You said earlier about sending money from UK bank to exchange via Revolut, which I keep getting blocked now, to a wallet, then onto an exchange. Do you mean buy USDT or other crypto? Good question. UK, you buy USDC. Because USDT is considered to be criminal. USDC is considered to be legitimate. Here's how the system works. There's a set of AIs that have been created. What's the name of that one? I can't remember the name of this one, but it's like this is the one. I'm not going to say the rest of this sentence because I'm under an NDA for it. Handshake NDA. We don't sign paperwork. We just say we're not going to say something and shut the fuck up. But regardless, there are a set of AIs that are built to scan the blockchain and watch everything and watch transactions and watch even financial transactions in the banking system, all that kind of stuff. These platforms use those AIs to be able to watch what you're doing, and then the AI blocks you from doing what it thinks you're doing, which is capital flight, which is what you're doing. It's not illegal to do it, but it just wants to stop you from doing it. It's like the choke point 2.0 of UK. That AI is sitting there watching what you're doing. If you take money and you turn it into USDC, the AI instantly gets worried. USDT, it instantly gets worried because Tether has so many illicit transactions done with it. Like the illicit world has been using Tether for a long time, right? For a lot of stuff. When you buy USDT, you instantly freak it out. And then when you try to move it, it goes, nah, you might be criminal, right? Even if there's a proven source of funds. When you buy USDC, which is Circle, public company, much more regulated, blah, 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 it then goes, you must be trying to do something more legitimate than the USDT, right? So you getting USDC is the way to do it. Tether is safe now. Like Tether isn't going to blow up. At some point, they're going to scare people that Tether is going to blow up. It'll be used as an excuse. But when you look at the back end of Tether, don't look at the back end of Tether. That's rude. Okay. I mean, it has a nice back end, to be honest. When you look at how the Tether is being restructured right now, Tether is going to get better, but the AIs don't see it as nice. So what you do is you take, let's say $100 on an old Revolut account, convert it to USDC. Hold on. Don't just click, 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 right? Hold on. Look. The AI goes, oh, cool, you're putting money in. You go, yes, I'm putting money in. Where's it going? Nowhere. Relax. Breathe, right? Then you make a transfer to your wallet. Totally normal, because people are taking USDC and putting it on their wallet, especially at this time. Totally normal. They expect that it's going to come back. Then you take the next little piece, USDC, custody. Next little piece, USDC, custody. You do it in pieces because if they're going to block you, they will just block your account with the money inside. We've had people put $300,000 from a legitimate transaction from the sale of a home through these systems. Wise and Revolut are very similar. Wise is even worse than Revolut. Like Wise hates crypto in a lot of jurisdictions. Revolut is a little bit better because they have crypto, but still they're kind of the same. So when they're going to block you, they're going to block it with the money in there. And then they sent these people into a AI-based document loop. They said, 300 grand. Where does this come from? Even though it's coming from their bank account to their Wise bank account, going to their Indonesian account. They never even let it go to Indonesia. Money came in and they went, where does money come from? Proof of source of funds. You should prove your source of funds. Otherwise the money's locked. And they upload their house sale paperwork, which the first bank accepted and they paid taxes for in a country where tracks taxes very well. And the AI went checking. A couple of days later, they go back and it says, proof of source of funds. And they're like, Okay. Paperwork. That's all we got. All you need. Checking. A couple of days later, proof of source of funds. And they're like, support. Why is this thing asking for proof of source of funds constantly? They're like, well, because it's checking. And we're like, yeah, but here's the papers. And they're like, oh yeah, here's the link to upload the papers, and they send them back to the AI loop. And they're just stuck in that loop. I'm pretty sure that money's still stuck. Okay, and I don't have anybody on the inside of these companies to be able to get you out of there. So taking chunks slowly, as you would as a legitimate investor, moving a little bit to the Revolut, taking a little bit and putting it into a wallet, just like a regular hardware wallet, keeping it there, then moving the next piece, keeping it there, then moving the next piece, keeping it there. You get all the money in the wallet, then you have the freedom to move your money and your crypto. Otherwise, it's not even your money. Like the bank doesn't hold your money. The bank made you sign paperwork that said you are an unsecured lender to the bank, which means you have no collateral, you have no security, you have no insurance. You're simply just lending to the bank. And the number in your bank account is a promise from the bank to pay you back. That's not actually money. There's no money there. A bank takes your $1 million and puts it into an investment. It's the only place where you put in $1 million of cash. They put $1 million as a number on your bank account. Then they take the $1 million you gave and they put it somewhere else into an investment. Now there's $1 million over there and $1 million in your account. Where's the $1 million? Isn't that $2 million? Yeah. Printing money. Okay? They put it over there. So to give you the money and then let you transfer it, if you're one of the first ones out the door, you get your money. But if you're even the first, if you're not the first 20% out the door, the final 80% money always gets taken in history, always, because the system is built like that. So please do that. If you're going to send it to a wallet, I don't know how the systems are running now. Stuff changes too fast, but like having an active wallet is nice because there's history on the wallet, because that AI is also going to scan the wallet wherever you send it. It's going to scan the wallet and it's going to scan all the wallets that it's ever sent to. And if it's a brand new wallet, it doesn't like it because there's no history for it to see. And it goes, now I don't know what you're going to do. Or at least that's how it used to be. I don't know if now anything's changed, but like it used to be like in ancient times, well, 4 months ago. Okay. Like 6 months ago. But if there's a wallet that has history, that has transactions that have been done to many places, no transactions were done to any illegitimate place. So basically it sees another degree, of separation or whatever it's called, another degree of connection as being clean, then it's a lot better, right? If you use it to buy your drugs on Silk Road, then obviously don't use that wallet. That's not cool. You should not do that. Okay. Hopefully that helps. A good question. Any other questions that I'm saying right now in live time, but it's going to take a while for it to reach you guys because there's like a 5 or 10 second buffer for us to be able to communicate. Do you have any final questions, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlegigas. Before we close it off, because I was just waiting to see what's going to happen in the markets, and as expected, the market didn't really do anything too bananas, but it's telling you it's going to go down. How do you know, Sim? How do you know? I'm going to tell you. Maybe I'm not. Why am I telling you all this stuff? Why am I giving away all my secrets? Pay me, pay me, pay me. Then I'll tell you, pay me. Subscribe to my source. Subscribe to my course. I'm an expert. But I'm not going to tell you. Because if I tell you, I got nothing left. What am I going to do? Oh, you baby. Okay. There you go. That's how I can see it's going to go down. This line right here, which I guess I'll change from purple to anything else. This yellow line down here from the beginning of the pump of the crash, or the beginning of the pump of the crash. Oh yeah, we're getting close to the end of the night here. From the midway of the pump, things are going up. Price was just shooting up, but the indicator's telling you the real truth, right? The fundamentals underneath, the strength underneath is calming down. So that started to tell us then, okay, this can't just continue for a while. So when it's this crazy of a divergence, the turnaround is pretty serious as well, right? What goes up must come down. Things that pump hard, dump hard. Although, like, if you look at this, right, where should it go? It should just go back to basically the top of this level, and then continue to make, one higher high, might even make another higher high, just to keep people in limbo and not knowing what's going on, so that smart money can offload on them. So first of all, smart money started offloading back here. Like, remember last year I was telling you smart money was offloading. Buffett and those guys started dumping way back here. $400 billion they're sitting on. This was more dumping and offloading. Obviously, this was dumping, right? Like, what else do you think this was? Then they let retail buy it, but they also put in like pension fund money and our life savings, basically, that BlackRock and all of them dump in, and then the smart money takes it. The elites, the wealthy, not the wealthy, okay? Just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you're some piece of shit. But the bankers, let's say, take it. They dump it, then they let like mom and pop money pumped in, then they dump it. And even this sideways process is them dumping on people, and then they sell so much, they're like, okay, hey, calm down. Let them put more money in. Average people put some money in, but actually it's just all those pools of capital that are sitting there. So this dumping process just continues like this. This is what this is indicating. Let us see. Indications are indications. They do not make a guarantee. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the way to pick the bottom, or see the bottom, and have some data to chew on, something solid to chew on, something to understand, to point at and say, this is a bottom, or the bottom, or no bottom, right? So now, remember, what would you do if you could dream any dream you wanted to? In the end, you would dream this life. This life is a dream. Wherever you are, however you are, if it doesn't feel like a dream, come to the slums of India. It'll feel like a fucking dream. Honestly. Okay? If you look down, 99% of people wish they were you. If you always look up, they, when I, once I. You're part of the 1% of the world. If you hate the elites, you're the fucking elites. You have so much money, you have to put it somewhere. Do you think everybody has money so they can just put it somewhere and wait 9 months for a guy not to click the button? Do you think that's how people's lives work? Even if you just put $1,000 in, you still have $1,000, which is what people here get paid for 5 months. You have 5 months of somebody's wage in a pretty prosperous country, actually, comparatively. You have 5 months of somebody's wage to put on the side, right? So what would you do if you could dream any dream you wanted to, and you might already be dreaming it? If you're not dreaming it, that's a you problem. That's your fault. Dream the dream you want. Don't let others dream your dream, okay? Paint the picture you want. Dream a dream that scares you. What does it look like? Well, let's see what he says.
Like children who dare each other on things. How far out could you get? What could you take? What dimension of being lost? Of abandonment of your power? What dimension of that could you stand? You could ask yourself this because you know you'd eventually wake up. After you'd gone on doing this, you see, for some time, you would suddenly find yourself sitting around in this room with all your personal involvement, problems, etc., talking with me. How How do you know that's not what you're doing? Could be. Because after all, what would you do if you were God? I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. What would you do if you were God? 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 What would you do if you were God?
What would you do if you were God? That concept of thinking that you're God, people think that, oh, you think you're God? Like you think you're Jesus' dad? No, I'm not talking about the bearded guy who sits up there and judges me and punishes me and, banishes Eve out of the fucking jungle because, out of the whatever, Eden, simply because the woman went and ate the apple from the tree of knowledge? Wait a minute, there's a tree of knowledge? And there's an apple on it? Isn't that natural? Can I just go eat it? Oh, the serpent told her. Well, all the rest of the current cultures look at serpents as just part of a divine universe. Shiva has the serpent wrapped around his neck. Japanese have serpents flying around in the sky that are divine. South Americans have their own divine versions of serpents. Or reptilians. Yeah, that's like saying black people. Niggers. Jews. What are you talking about? Have you seen a snake? I have so many snakes here. So many snakes in the jungle. I stepped on a snake. I was walking and I was talking on the phone like a fool at nighttime. And I was looking at the ground like a smart person. And she said, "What's that behind you?" This is when I should have realized she's the snake. And later on I figured out the snake wasn't under my foot. It was in my phone. She said, "What's that behind you?" And I was like, "What?" And I take a step and I feel a snake under my foot. And the snake wiggles and walks away and frees itself and walks away. Fuck. Like, there's no breath. There's no heartbeat. There's nothing. Everything stops. And it's like, well, what happened? I was like, I just stepped on a snake. I'll call you back. Right? And I was, what the fuck? That's crazy. And I messaged Booty. I was like, Booty, I just fucking stepped on a snake, bro. And he's like, oh, brother, what color? I was like, brown. Because, brown snakes to us are like crazy snakes. And he's like, don't worry, brother. We call that the cow snake. I was like, cow snake? Does it kill cows? And he was like, no. It's not poisonous. It's like a cow. It just goes about like a cow. He was walking. You step on snake. It's okay. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess there are a lot of non-poisonous snakes. And I was like, has anybody died in the village from a snake? And he's like, not yet. Like, snakes are just snakes. They're just going about their business. Don't step on them. And even when you do that, he was like, excuse me, sir, fuck off. Like, watch where you're going, man. There's traffic in the jungle. Where do you think you are? Right? So my point is, when you think you're like, when he says, you know, what would you do if you're God? Like, you are God. There is no, in the source perspective, there is nothing that is not God. And, you know, there's nothing that is not God. You're not any more God than this table. You're not any more God than these trees or these ants or any less God than them. And if you thinking God makes your ego go up, then calm down. You ain't shit. You're such an insignificant, we are all such insignificant dust of shoes that we don't, it's just another speck floating through on us. We're another speck on another speck in the universe, right? Yes. Yet you are God. You know, God works in mysterious ways. How do you think he works? Or she works? Or there's no he or she. It's not like, in my perspective, it's like sources like, hi, I'm on my period. It's like, no, the source is the code. There's no masculine, feminine to it. But what would you do if you're God? What dream would you dream? If you could dream any dream you wanted to as God. Literally dream the dream. It becomes real. You simply have to believe it. It's just about belief. You have to believe it. You have to know it. You have to live it. You have to have gratitude for it. If that is not what you're doing right now, vibrating a gratitude for the state of abundance that you have, then it will never come. It will never arrive. Even if I make it arrive and I make it show up as dollars in your account and you see it, your inabundant state will still figure out a way to lose it. I've seen it live, like, just so many times. The inabundant never make it. Now, the ones who are abundant, here's how I know who is going to get rich every time. Like, without fail, with 100% success rate. I've never had this fail out of thousands of people that I work with. The people who pay attention closely to the market in the bottom zone always get rich. I have never seen one fail. Even the ones who had a semi-inabundant state, by the time they make the moves, the abundance starts to show up and their mind can't not believe the abundance and they become abundant. And of course, working with me, I make sure that we're going to do a lot of abundance work. But the people who are there, attentively paying attention, yes, at the bottoming part of the market, which is the moment everybody gives up, everybody stops watching, everybody starts, either getting bored or there's whatever we talked about. Those people always make money. Well, it also makes sense, right? If you're somebody who's watching at the bottom, you're watching because you have money to put in, and since there's a bottom, and you hopefully end up serendipitously finding some fucking Indian guy telling you you're God, you end up putting the, maybe you're smart and you end up putting the money in, and you end up making money. So you guys are here. You're paying attention. You're activated. You're taking control of your own reality. You're not giving up. You also made the difficult decision at some point. Some of you took a loss to be here. You made that difficult decision, which now you're seeing, holy shit, what a great decision. But at the time, it was very difficult. And you paid your dues. You told the universe, I make the difficult decisions. I'm deserving of the abundance. Because abundance is not for the ones who chase comfort. Abundance is for the ones who actually have faith in the universe and they actually make decisions on their own. Okay? So please, be God. Dream the dream you want to. Until the next dream. See you guys. Much love. Stay wonderful all across the world. Okay? And now that I ranted again, let's just listen to one more. You can't say you don't like it. Okay? What are we listening to now? Oh, which one was it? Isn't that gorgeous? Wait, let me try this because
to go on surviving.
which one was?
A way that ignores
This one's good. This one's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with this one. Thank you for being here. Thank you for dreaming the dream. You are a dream. You're at least my dream. I bet you didn't even know there was Alan Watts music.
Now, I want to put it two ways. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, something to be condemned, to take your own individual life seriously, in dead earnest, and to have all the problems that go with that. Do you understand that being that way, that being a real mixed up human being, is a manifestation of nature? That is something just like patterns on the waves out here. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. Or like a seashell. You know, we pick up shells. I always keep one around, as sort of an example for many things. Say, my goodness, isn't that gorgeous? There's not an aesthetic fault in it anywhere. It's absolutely perfect. Now, I wonder if these fish look at each other's shells and say, don't you think she's kind of fat? Oh my, those markings aren't really very well spaced. Because that's what we do. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. That's what we do. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. That's what we do. See, we don't realize that all of us in our various goings-on and behavior and so on are just as much and more marvelous, much more complicated, much more interesting. All these gorgeous faces that I'm looking at. You know, every one of them. Some are supposedly pretty, some are supposedly not so pretty. But they're all absolutely gorgeous. And everybody's eyes is a piece of jewelry beyond compare. Beautiful. 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 Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. That's what we do. Patterns on the waves. Patterns on the waves. That's what we do.